In the vast realm of online platforms, there lurks a looming shadow named Wintub. Now, this isn't a name that rings a bell for many, but for a select few, it's a name that resonates with promises of easy money and lofty services. A name that, on the surface, seems to offer a haven of opportunity in the digital world. Today, we delve into the clandestine corners of this platform, shedding light on its operations and the truth behind its glossy facade. Wintub, an online platform that purports to pay its users for watching videos. Sounds appealing, right? A simple task with a seemingly rewarding outcome. An attractive proposition indeed for anyone seeking to make a quick buck in this digital age. But as the saying goes, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. This couldn't be truer when it comes to Wintub. Beneath its attractive veneer lies a web of deceit and fraudulent activities. This platform, which promises monetary rewards for a simple task, has been the subject of numerous complaints and accusations of scamming its users. Now, you might ask, why would anyone fall for such a scam? Well, the answer lies in the cunningly crafted guise of legitimacy that Wintub projects. They promise an easy way to earn money online, a proposition that is all too tempting in today's financially uncertain times. They lure unsuspecting individuals with the promise of lucrative returns for minimal effort. However, the reality is far from the picture painted. Users find themselves trapped in a cycle of watching videos, with the promised payout never materializing. Their efforts, their time, their hopes, all squandered on a platform that has no intention of fulfilling its promises. As we navigate the virtual labyrinth that is Wintub, we aim to raise awareness about this platform's true nature. We want to expose the fraudulent practices that lie beneath its polished exterior. For knowledge is power, and awareness is the first step towards protection. But beneath the surface, Wintub's true colors begin to show. As we unravel the truth about Wintub, let's remember that not all that glitters is gold, especially in the elusive world of online platforms. Wintub lures unsuspecting users with promises of easy money and high returns. This phrase is reminiscent of the siren song, an alluring melody that draws the naive and the hopeful into a trap. Wintub, like so many platforms of its kind, knows just what to say to get your attention. The promise is simple and enticing. Make content, share it on their platform, and watch as the ad revenue rolls in. They paint a picture of a world where anyone can become financially independent with just a laptop and a dream. But as we all know, if something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Wintub makes grandiose claims promising sky-high returns for minimal effort. They claim that their platform is a goldmine just waiting to be tapped. All you need to do is sign up, upload your videos, and wait for the money to start pouring in. But let's pause for a moment and think about this. Any platform that promises high returns with such minimal effort is usually a scam. The world of online content creation is competitive and challenging. It takes time, effort, and a good deal of luck to make significant earnings from it. The promise of easy money is nothing more than a bait to lure you in. And what about the people who have tried their luck with Wintub? Countless users have reported that after investing their time and effort, they were left with nothing. The promised high returns never materialized. Their dreams of easy financial independence turned into a nightmare of wasted time and effort. But Wintub is not deterred. They continue to make their empty promises, preying on the hopes and dreams of unsuspecting users. They continue to spin their web of deceit, luring more and more people into their trap with the promise of easy money. But remember this, real success never comes easy. It requires hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Don't be fooled by the empty promises of platforms like Wintub. And yet, these promises are nothing more than smoke and mirrors. Don't let yourself be lured by the siren song. Be smart, be vigilant, and always remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Evidence against Wintub's legitimacy is as clear as day. Let's delve a little deeper into the abyss of Wintub's deceptive practices and shed light on the evidence that exposes them for what they are. First and foremost, we have a plethora of user testimonials, a chorus of voices all singing the same tune. Wintub just doesn't pay. Countless users have reported that they've never received a dime, despite meeting all the stated requirements for payout. This isn't just a few isolated cases, it's a pattern, a trend that points to a stark and unsettling reality. Next, we consider the lack of transparency. Wintub presents itself as a platform that rewards users for watching videos. Yet it fails to disclose how these rewards are calculated, leaving users in the dark about how much they can expect to earn. This lack of clarity is a big red flag, an indication that something isn't quite right. Moreover, the absence of a legal framework is another glaring issue. Wintub operates in a nebulous space, devoid of any legal oversight or regulation. This means there's no one to hold them accountable, no entity to turn to if things go wrong. It's like venturing out into a lawless frontier where the only rule is, there are no rules. Other red flags include the platform's inability to provide concrete proof of payouts, the absence of a physical address, and the lack of customer support. These factors, when examined closely, reveal a disturbing lack of accountability and a disregard for user trust. Additionally, the platform's terms and conditions are vague and ambiguous, leaving users vulnerable to exploitation. It's like signing a contract without reading the fine print, only to find out later that the devil is indeed in the details. In conclusion, the evidence against Wintub's legitimacy is overwhelming. The user testimonials, the lack of transparency, the absence of a legal framework, and the numerous red flags all point to one inescapable fact. Wintub is a scam. With such glaring evidence, one cannot deny Wintub's deceptive practices. Understanding Wintub's operation is key to recognizing its deceit. Now let's break down how this platform operates and traps unsuspecting victims in its snare. Wintub operates on a business model that is classic in the world of scams, a model known as a Ponzi scheme. Named after Charles Ponzi, who became notorious for using this technique in the early 20th century, this scheme creates a cycle of deceit that is as old as time itself. Here's how it works. Wintub lures in new investors with the promise of high returns on their investments. These returns are not generated through any legitimate business activities or ventures. Instead, the money paid by the new investors is used to pay off the older ones. This creates an illusion of legitimacy and profitability that attracts more and more investors, and the cycle continues. However, this model is unsustainable. The system relies on a constant influx of new investors. Without new money coming in, the scheme collapses, leaving many investors with significant losses. Wintub masterfully exploits this model. They dazzle potential investors with tales of high earnings, and once they've hooked their victims, they continue to reel them in with false payouts. These payouts are merely a part of their strategy, funded by the influx of new investors, giving the impression that Wintub is a profitable platform. This cunning operation allows Wintub to maintain an outward appearance of a thriving, profitable platform. But behind the scenes, it's a different story. The money isn't growing in some magic investment pot. It's merely being shuffled from one investor to another. It's a dangerous game of musical chairs, and when the music stops, it's the investors who are left without a seat. This is how Wintub manages to scam people, creating a cycle of deceit that leaves many high and dry. So how does Wintub keep this charade going? By continuously attracting new investors, promising them high returns, and using their investment to pay off the older investors. Like a spider weaving its web, Wintub ensnares its victims with cunning and deceit. Stay vigilant, and don't let yourself be caught in Wintub's web of lies. Knowledge is power, and it's our strongest defense against scams like Wintub. Indeed, the first line of defense in protecting ourselves from scams is knowledge. It's crucial to be aware of the common signs of scams and to understand how they operate. In the case of platforms like Wintub, they promise high returns for minimal effort. This is a common tactic used by many scams. If an offer sounds too good to be true, it probably is. That brings us to our next point, skepticism. We live in a world where skepticism is not only healthy, but necessary. It's important to question everything, especially when it comes to offers that promise easy money. Always dig deeper. Ask questions, seek out reviews and testimonials from independent sources. If a company is legitimate, they would have nothing to hide. Research is another vital component in preventing scams. Before getting involved in any platform or investment, do your homework. Look up the company's history. Check for any legal issues, and most importantly, try to understand how they make their money. If their business model isn't clear or doesn't make sense, that's a red flag. Next, always be cautious about how you pay. Use payment methods that come with protection, like credit cards or payment services. If a company insists on payment methods that are untraceable or hard to reverse, like wire transfers or gift cards, that's a signal to walk away. Finally, remember that it's okay to say no. Even if you've invested time into researching an offer, if something doesn't feel right, trust your instincts. It's better to miss out on a potential opportunity than to lose money on a scam. In conclusion, protecting ourselves from scams is a matter of being informed, skeptical, and vigilant. It's about doing our research, being cautious with our money, and trusting our instincts. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and steer clear of scams like Wintub.